All right, the Gujarat Titans have picked up their second win of IPL 2023. So the champions march on, and they've confined the Delhi Capitals to successive defeats as they've started their season on a slight low, losing at home as well. In what we thought would be a chase that Hardik Pandya's side should get there, they welcomed David Miller back, and he seemed to carry on from where he left off last year. This is ESPN Cricket for T20 time, and we look back at the finer moments and perhaps tactical misses and gains from both teams from this contest, with Tom Moody and Deep Dasgupta, both of whom did say it would be a rather comfortable Gujarat Titans win. Fair to say, if there was a game building, it came down eventually, it was settled when David Miller scored 20 of that Mukesh Kumar over in the 16th. So it was just vintage Miller, and you almost feel sorry for Mukesh Kumar, who had bowled all right till then.
Yeah, and Mukesh is generally a very good new ball bowler. He still needs to develop as a death over or a last 4-5 over bowler. So, yeah, a little too much to ask. I thought, I mean, GT were in a very good position because of that partnership, to be honest, with Vijay Shankar and Sai Sudarshan. Yeah. I think that's when they kind of solidified their position, and then I think Miller was the cherry on the cake then.
Yeah, so credit then to Sai Sudarshan, Tom. You think if they wanted a batter at number 3 to see them home in a 160 chase, 62 or 48, they probably said that's Ken Williamson's role. And now that he's gone, Sai Sudarshan stepped up to that quite nicely on his first chance.
Superb. You know, credit to you, Deep. You called it. He looks, he looks quality. It's the first time I've really seen a lot of him. I saw a little bit of him last year, but I really enjoyed the way he navigated that innings, because there was moments where, could have easily gone one way or the other, but he showed a lot of maturity beyond his years. I believe he's only 21 years old. And he seemed unflustered. Miller did the Miller thing, Sudarshan sort of set the solid foundation and kept the ship, on track. Miller came in, identified his target, bang.
Yeah, this probably was his toughest sort of innings as well. He saw Andrik Nokia blow away Gill and Saha, and he saw Hardik Pandya fall at the other end. Yeah.
True, and we actually saw Shubman Gill kind of beaten by pace, Saha beaten by pace. But when I saw him bat against someone like Andrik Nokia bowling almost 150 clicks an hour, it didn't seem like he was hurried. I mean, that's something that I really kind of appreciated when I looked at him. It's like he looked calm and composed, and he had the time to play someone as quick as Andrik Nokia. And Andrik Nokia bowled well. He bowled a beautiful spell, the first one, and he looked so in tune or focused, and it was very nice.
You put him in a category of domestic Indian players that tick more boxes than we talk about, Sarfaraz Khan in the mid-show or Vijay Shankar before that, or we pick and choose a handful of cricketers, not to single anyone out, but just the game sense perhaps from Sai Sudarshan gives you a lot of satisfaction, I think, if you're monitoring his progress.
Yeah, he looks pure, doesn't he? He really does. He looks like he's got a complete game on the back and front foot, and the measure of a lot of young players is their ability to play equally both on front and back and be able to deal with pace, and he had all those tests this evening and passed them with flying colours. So certainly another positive for GT that they've identified a very good young talent, and he just joins a very long queue of very talented Indian batsmen.
Yeah, I mean, you could say the credit to this new franchise for picking these players at the inaugural auctions, and it's reaping rewards even now. Even though they lost a big player like Kane Williamson, they would have had a big role for him, but he seemed to have slotted in quite nicely, Sudarshan. Right, Delhi Capitals, before we go to the rest of the moments in this, did they get a few things wrong here? No Akshar Patel, the entire
surprised.
Yeah,
I was seriously surprised. I do understand there was a left-hander out there, but then, come on. I mean, Akshar's an international bowler. You've got to give him at least an over or two. And they just went in with 5 bowlers. Now imagine if Akshar had bowled an over or 2 then, and you never know. Maybe as a left-hander, Sai Sudarshan may have taken a few more chances, few more risks, may have gambled a bit then. So you never know. And the thing is, you would have a little more elbow room as a captain with your other main bowlers.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be forced to get in bowlers, when he actually did.
Yeah. Tom?
Yeah, I think maybe they just got a little bit stuck with the thinking of 1, there was Dew, and 2, the left-handed matchup. But you've got to back an international bowler. Kuldeep bowled 3 overs for 18. He didn't take a wicket, but he seemed to manage You know, the ball, and he's bowling wrist spin, which is a lot harder to do than finger spin with a ball that's affected by dew. Mitchell Marsh bowled for the first time, so maybe they were the overs that Axel would normally be bowling. You know, he bowled just to tick over three overs. So yeah, look, again, I suppose it's easy for us to sit back and analyse and point the finger at various things after the event, but I think at the end of the day, Delhi just didn't get enough runs.
True. So you think the more decisive blow was dealt in the first innings when Joseph blew over the top order?
Yeah, absolutely. Their bowling performance, you know, GT's bowling performance was stellar. We talked about the quality of their bowling attack, and it really is, you know, quite formidable.
Yeah, they look like the team that, I mean, last year they were, perhaps you could say they were, getting the rub of the green in close wins. Here they're sort of in control.
Last
like
two
champions.
games, I mean, listen, both the games, they've got convincing wins, right? And they've almost had perfect wins. Last game as well, the batting fired, bowling fired. Here as well, bowling, batting fired. So, I mean, seem to be getting everything right as of now and winning tosses as well.
You've not even seen Tewatia bat. I mean, you saw him a bit in the other day, but now you know what I mean in this true sense. Ominous signs for the rest of the league. If GT start like this, they're a team that thrives on momentum. Any team does, I guess, but more so GT.
Yeah, well, this format thrives on momentum. Yeah, look, it's nearly like last season only happened 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's how it feels, just watching them play. And that's a credit to the management more than anything else, because what they've done is managed to keep things simple, keep things calm, and just do what they've done previously, so people can just sort of, you know, continue in the wake of, you know, that success that they had last year. It's very easy to get carried away and have a bit more of a skip in your step, but they just seem very calm and relaxed, and Hardik is continuing to impress as a leader. He really is. Just watching his body language in the dugout, watching his body language on the field when things aren't quite going right and when things are going well, he's just very level. And there's a lot to like about what he's bringing to the table.
I guess the fact that Sudarshan's got runs and filled this hole that Williamson might have left has also given them flexibility on how they want to use their overseas players. They've now named Dasun Shanaka as Williamson's replacement. I thought they might be shopping for a like-for-like number 3 top order bat, but it's interesting they've gone that way. They're confident about their top order again. Yeah,
well, they obviously feel the need that, you know, if they do need cover, it's going to be in the middle order, because Shanaka is you know, he's a number 6 specialist, number 7 specialist finisher that bowls a few mediums. Maybe they're thinking that, you know, that's a higher priority than that number 3 slot. It's
been a bit of conversation for a while now. Why does Dasun Shanaka not get IPL gigs beyond the availability issue? But Sri Lanka's white ball captain is now set to join the Titans. What do you make of that?
I think that's a great call. It's an absolutely brilliant call. There are a couple of other teams who are looking for replacements as well. I think GT was quick to pounce on it, and he might not end up playing a lot of games. But yeah, I mean, if you think about someone like him in your dugout, I mean, that gives you a lot of confidence. You know, somebody who can come and bowl a couple of overs, and him as a finisher last year and a half has been phenomenal in international cricket and for Sri Lanka. So it's brilliant. And Sai Sudarshan, the other important thing is, if you look at last year, maybe that was the only area of concern for GT, number 3. They tried a few players at number 3. The reason that they got Kane Williamson as well was because of that. They were looking at maybe somebody who can anchor the innings, especially 150, 160 games. And now they've got Sai Sudarshan. Brilliant.
Yeah. On the other hand, Tom, Delhi Capitals, 2 losses out of 2. You think Delhi's batting, you think Warner, Marsh, Prithvi, Russo, wow. You think Delhi's bowling, you think Nokia, Khalil, Kuldeep, you know, that's pretty wow as well. Still not happening. What's wrong?
Well, it's good on paper. You know, that's one thing, but it's bringing that paper onto the field and performing. You know, clearly there's a few pieces that aren't quite clicking. You know, we've talked about the wicket-keeping situation and their puzzle around that, and it seems like they've maybe landed on the solution there. But yeah, at the end of the day, if your stars aren't, you know, firing any shots, it makes it very difficult. You know, and I've sort of been involved in teams as a coach where you know, there's a lot of parts of your game that are working, but if you're top order, out of the 5 in your top order, 3 aren't firing and they're 3 of your big names, you're scrambling to win games instead of, you need at least 3 of your 5 firing, not just 1 or 2.
Tom, sorry, quickly, I mean, we mentioned about the names on the paper, but how easy or difficult it is to get all these individuals coming from different parts of the world, playing for different teams.
For Delhi, most of them come from the same part of the world, but yeah, I take your point.
Yeah, I mean, just to get them, let's say a week before or 4 days before the tournament starts, how difficult or easy is it to kind of get it together and get it as a unit? Get them?
Yeah, to me that was one of the great charms of coaching in the IPL. When you have the opportunity to work with so many different cultures, so many different people with different levels of experience and exposure to high-level cricket, that's the fun part. And Ricky Ponting's a shrewd leader, and he will make this happen, and so will David Warner. They've both been around a long time. But, any team can lose the first couple of games and then win the next 5, and we're talking completely differently. And they'll be doing, the right things behind the scenes and creating, a calm environment. But to me, when you have that sort of, collection of different, people from different cultures and, as I said, different levels of experience, bringing them together and getting them to work together is the strength of, what you're trying to achieve, and that makes you a stronger unit. So, they'll bounce back. There's no question. They're a very good squad. It's just that, any team can start with a couple of losses.
Yeah, fair enough. I think one of the things I'm surprised with is you think form is so important. Mitchell Marsh is coming off the form of his life in these parts of the world in 3 ODIs. He's now been bowled first ball and then played on today, and you're scratching your head and thinking, how's this happening? This was supposed to be my banker, right? This guy's supposed to get me a quick 40 on a bad day.
Yeah, it can happen. He is human like anyone else, but you're right, he's in good form. But, one thing I do know is Mitchell Marsh, whether it's at this point or after the next game, he goes back to Australia and misses a game or 2. Because he's got his wedding that's been planned for some time.
It's good enough reason for leave.
He's communicated that to Delhi very early on, and Delhi were, very obliging to, you do your thing, and we support that, which was great. And maybe that's just sitting at the back of his, mind, thinking, well, there's quite a considerable event coming up in my life in a week's time. Maybe that's part of it, or it just might be simply, he got a decent ball first up against Wood. Okay, played slightly extravagantly, and
played on against
you can chop the ball on.
Can't really
we can
overanalyze
overanalyze these things, but you'll probably go out next game.
I think it's probably worrying the management more that there's nothing really to say or do here. If he's not firing, then
Yeah, well, I think one thing Delhi have got is the resources. So if you're looking at a couple of other teams in this tournament, KKR being one of them, I'd be more concerned because you look at your resources and think, well, how can I pull this together after a couple of losses? And I know KKR have only played the 1 game, but it's a slightly different and stressful thought process. But Delhi have actually got the resources.
Arguably Mumbai as well in that KKR boat when you look at their bowling. Yeah, fair enough. It's early days. We're just making impressions and filling airtime because sometimes we have to. So that's what we're looking at from Delhi and Gujarat, but things can take a turn in what is a very long IPL. So we leave it there, but we'll quickly check with both Deep and Tom who the sort of player of the match for them is. Player most decisive impact. Joseph bowled well. Rashid got wickets at the end. And you, of course, had runs from Sudarshan. Miller finished it. Tom?
Sudarshan for me, I was really impressed, and he came in at a tricky time, a young player, and he navigated that, with ease, and he's grown enormously just on tonight's performance. So he'll only get better and better.
Yeah, my choice as well.
Sudarshan. All right, brilliant. Thank you very much to Tom Moody and Deep Dasgupta. I hope you've not gotten too comfortable with Deep because he's leaving tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Didn't like you.
That's a great
Or
show.
me. No, he likes me. He's here every year.
No, I've been fired.
Hardly.
We don't fire. We are sending you to the east. Enjoy the game tomorrow at Guwahati at the Borshapara Cricket Stadium. Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you can be our man on the ground then. We'll see you back very soon, Deep Dasgupta. Thank you very much. Tom Moody, can't get enough of you. So
Lucky
I will
you.
see you tomorrow. Do join us then. We will have Mr. Manjrekar in the house. So Tom can't wait for that. Neither can I. As we will build up to Rajasthan against Punjab. We look forward to your company then on ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout. And of course, you'll get plenty of insight, analysis, and pieces and videos that you can cherish from the IPL and cricket around the world on the ESPN Cricket for mobile app. Head to the app and Play Store and download it if you haven't already. The Titans are looking good. This could very well be the season that they carry on that remarkable journey of 2022. Keep an eye out on Hardik Pandya's team. They're the team to watch out for with 2 wins out of 2, and they sit pretty at the top of the IPL points table in the early stages. Join us for Rajasthan Punjab tomorrow. Connect.